Hello and welcome back to the channel.
For those of you that will know the channel, you will know that we have got the Brit Stops book.
So we now think it's time to give you the truth about Brit Stops.
We'll tell you about all the things that we love.
We'll also tell you about all the things that we don't like.
We'll tell you about some of our favourite places.
And some of our least favourite places.
But that's later. For the moment, we are at Wendover Woods. Come and have a look and see what we find here.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here, I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer, I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now, I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough.
So that was Wendover Woods.
And after our coffee and cake, we are going to head over to our pub stop.
Claire, tell them what cake you got.
I have got chocolate orange. And you have got millionaire short.
I've got millionaire shortbread, and I haven't told you what's in the coffee.
Oh, what's in the coffee?
In the coffee is amaretto.
Ooh.
Amaretto latte. Also,
and the doggies have a biscuit.
you can tell that Tessie's joining in the fun.
Now, where were we? Brit Stops.
Yeah, so we are now at our Brit Stops for the night, and that kind of brings us on to the first thing we love about Brit Stops. There are so many of them in the book that there's quite a few local ones, isn't there, Claire?
There is, yeah.
So we are actually right on our doorstep, but it means we get another night away.
Yeah, still a change of scenery, so why not, hey?
Come outside with me and I'll show you where we are. Okay, so the pub that we are at is the Old Farm Inn in Tottenham in Bedfordshire. So it has got quite a small car park, however the pub garden is huge. Lovely quaint building there, and you might see Claire and Tessie and Lily are over at the table. There's a massive garden round the back.
Okay, so we've told you one of the things we like about the Brit Stops. David is now going to tell you one of his dislikes about the Brit Stops.
Okay, so one of my frustrations about the Brit Stops book is that it's not as exclusive a club as you would think. So a lot of the places we've been to, we haven't been asked to see the book, or they allow anyone to stay there anyway. So it doesn't matter if you have the book. Now the frustrating thing is that when we got the book, we were asked, when we said we were vloggers, we were asked not to say where we stay, because then that would mean that people could stay there without paying money for the book. But if, as the scheme tells you, each place that you stay made sure that you had the book when you walk in, then we would be able to tell you everywhere where we stay, because you'd only be able to use our advice and stay there if you had the book. Now, with that in mind, I am actually going to show you in the book the place that we're staying at, and Claire's going to talk you through what she likes about the layout of the book itself.
So the first thing I like about it is there is a map at the beginning of each section. It's all categorised into parts of the country, so you can literally look at the map, think, right, I want to go to Stowmarket. What pub stops or Brit stops are near Stowmarket, and it will literally tell you. And then you go to the right page, they're all listed, and I love the information you get. So for instance, here we are, the Old Farm Inn. It tells us it's doggy friendly, it tells us there's water available, there's no electric, there's no Wi-Fi or anything like that, but it's all there. So some of them have got a lot more than others, but it's all there for you, and it's got a little information about where it is, how to get there.
I've just noticed something at the bottom of that. I'm just going to interject actually. Only under 5 metre vans are allowed at this location.
Okay, so that again, good information. So that's what we like about it. So we can just think, right, where do we want to go? Find somewhere and then look at the places that are available and what's most suitable for us. The information's right there. You haven't got to make loads of phone calls to everyone. It's just there, ready for you.
So the next thing to talk about is whether or not you buy something at the actual venue. Now, if you read the Brit Stops instructions, it clearly tells you that you do not need to buy a meal or a drink or anything like that at the venue, because you've paid for your Brit Stops membership and that is what is allowing you to stay there. However, firstly, a lot of the venues that we have been to, there is kind of an expectation that you spend money there, which is understandable because they are businesses, and also from our perspective, we would not expect to go somewhere and not spend money. So I guess for me, one of the gripes is that they advertise it as a free stopover, but in truth it's pretty much the same price as staying on a campsite. We don't need to stay at a campsite, so essentially we see it as we're getting a free meal, because we pay 30 quid for 2 meals, and we end up staying there. Whereas if we were on a campsite, we would have to pay for the meal over and beyond that. So I don't mind paying it. It's not that I don't want to pay, but my gripe is the fact that they advertise it as a free stop, but there's kind of a moral obligation to spend money there. So yeah, I think it just needs to be changed, how it's advertised and how it's marketed. If the book was marketed as a research tool, then absolutely, it's great. It does what it says on the tin. If it's advertised as a scheme where you can have free stopovers, it's not quite right.
Okay, so another positive, from my opinion, is some of the places you get to stay on Brit Stops, you would just never find ordinarily. So, if, for instance, we stayed at a vineyard, it was amazing, such a lovely place, and we would never have found it had it not been for Brit Stops. I mean, you wouldn't just rock up and be, oh, there's a vineyard, should we go and see if we can stay there the night? You just wouldn't. And we've stayed at an antique centre, we've stayed at a garden centre. You know, some of these quirky places, you just wouldn't think of being overnight stops. And so I thank Brit Stops for bringing them to our attention.
Good morning. So, we are currently heading to Rushmere Country Park. What we're going to do is, while we're driving, we'll give you an overview of where we stayed last night and tell you what we thought. Check this out.
Whoa!
You alright?
Yeah, that's not very stable.
Don't think it's meant to do that. Should we sit at this table?
Yeah.
After Claire nearly falling off the broken table, we also discovered they were out of doggy ale, aka water.
Claire's doing a story, so I'm going to tell you what we've ordered for dinner. We have both ordered burgers. I've ordered a chicken burger. Claire, rather predictably, has ordered a cheeseburger, although mine's a cheesy chicken burger. Anywhere that allows you to put cheese in a chicken burger is a winner for me. I'll show you what it's like when it gets here. And drink-wise, got the good old moot cider, pineapple and raspberry. Nice and refreshing in this weather. So, I forgot to tell you that we were also having nachos for starters. Check them out. Should we see what they're like, the nachos?
So, taste one.
Yeah.
Bit of guacamole. Good.
Dinner has arrived. Look at those burgers. Right. Anyway, I think it's only right that we tuck in.
I'd just like to pause that there to say that the burgers were rather greasy and not that appetising. The shortcomings in the burgers were absolutely made up for, however, in our walk up Tottenham Knowles, just behind the pub after dinner.
Okay, so that does bring me on to another slight downside to Brit Stops. Obviously, when you go online to view a site or to view somewhere that someone's recommended, there'll be like little reviews, people will say what they thought, people will give it a certain rating, stuff like that. Whereas with Brit Stops, you don't get that. You just know that they're in the scheme, you know that it's in the book. I don't know if this is something they could incorporate in the future, because they do have an app for Brit Stops, so maybe people could leave reviews on there in the future.
Anyway, we want to tell you about our top 3 Brit Stops so far. The first one for me has to be Halfpenny Green Vineyard. So it's one of those that we would never have found without Brit Stops. It's a lovely place, the wine is fantastic and the staff are lovely. They do a lovely breakfast in the morning and it's all closed off at night, so you're literally in your own little bubble and it's just really, really peaceful.
Okay, so my favourites, where we went for Claire's birthday, Mountain Restaurant and Garden Centre in Melton Mowbray. We loved it because we could go there and in the evening it was completely closed off. The garden centre was shut off, the gate was locked. They gave you the code for emergencies, but we were completely on our own with no light pollution.
So our third favourite would have to be the Plough at Peldon. It was a very quaint little pub and the menu was extensively burgers, loaded fries, almost like a pick and mix of Americanised food. It was lush. So we haven't had bad experiences exactly, but there's one that stands out as not being as good.
That was a Green Man at Lavenden. Now the main issue with this one was they lost our booking and the car park wasn't very flat at all.
No, we had to use the chock, so yeah.
Which it kind
ideal.
of does, the fact that they lost our booking does bring me on to a slight negative with regards to Brit Stops, and that's the fact that there seems to be a bit of blasé-ness about it, so not all the staff know about it. And they don't necessarily make a note of the fact that you rang. We booked a table inside as well and they lost that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the service was really, really slow. I mean, it could have just been a bad day, so it was just our experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the ones that stands out as not being as good.
No. But I tell you what, we're going to end on a positive and we're going to show you around Rushmere Country Park because it's really nice here. So yeah, come with us and see what Rushmere is like.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eye so I can tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel. Every day something new.
So you would think on this channel that we learnt about walking over logs.
Oh, Lily!
Turns out not so.
Yeah, but I'm not going to hurt myself.
How do you know?
Because I'm more agile and active than you are. And I'm not as clumsy.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed our little video about Brit Stops, kind of giving you the good and the bad. Don't get us wrong, we would get the book again next year. However, I think there's just a few things in there maybe that don't work well with us, or, you know, we think people needed to know. In terms of an actual research tool, we absolutely love it. It shows us where we can go, it's ease of looking things up, and then also the weird and wonderful places that we can go that we wouldn't otherwise go.
If you are interested in any of the places we've mentioned or any other Brit Stops, we do have a playlist, so check those out and then see for yourself.
Yeah, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Anyway, until the next one, We'll see you soon.